Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List, the show dedicated to Texas travel and Lone Star State experiences, and a show we often stop to smell the flowers. My name is Shane McAuliffe, and speaking of flowers, we found a place that's full of them, and chances are you've never heard about it. Over in East Texas, there is a dazzling display of daffodils, but it only goes down once a year. So we decided to head to Gladewater to check out Mrs. Lee's Daffodil Garden. Over in Northeast Texas, between Tyler and Gladewater, you'll find a few back roads that beckon to be explored. During the month of February, the trees are still waking from their winter slumber. But if you follow these long, twisty turns through the thicket, you'll come across a garden that springs into action earlier than others.
This is Mrs. Lee's garden. It's the world's best kept secret in East Texas.
Dennis Phelps is a former petroleum engineer who moved to East Texas from Midland to take on the perfect retirement gig. You like doing this better?
Yeah, now. The oil company paid better, but if I could pick my dream one, I'd pick this one.
Your whole career you worked around oil fields.
Right.
And now you work around fields.
Right. Different. Big difference.
Maintaining millions of perennials in this lush 28-acre garden is a far cry from his days in West Texas, and that's a good thing.
It's just real peaceful. You can do a lot of deep thinking. There's nobody out here but me for the most part.
You see, during the majority of the year, usually 11 months or so, the garden looks like your typical East Texas terrain. But around the middle of February, and only for a few short weeks, something magical happens. Daffodils, direct from Holland, put on a dynamic display. It is beautiful. It's almost like you're in a different country.
Holland?
Yeah, exactly. This was all started in the 1950s by a woman named Helen Lee.
It's spelled Helen, and that's the way people are going to pronounce it, but she pronounced it Healing.
Helen.
Healing.
Maybe she knew she's going to be healing a lot of souls with all these flowers.
Maybe.
Her husband left Helen this piece of property after he passed away, and she turned it into a paradise, converting gravel pits to lakes stocked with fish, and buying a literal boxcar of daffodil bulbs from Holland. Mrs. Lee enjoyed her gardens till she passed away in 1984, and it was her request that the gardens be maintained and open to the public during the bloom. You guys have to do all this work for what pretty much amounts to 3 or 4 weeks out of the year for this opportunity.
Well, that's what she wanted. That's the reason the land was kept together. And I'm sure she's up in heaven saying, good job.
I'm sure being that you're out here with these flowers all the time, people expect you to be an expert on these things. But
I'm not a horticulturist. I just know they're yellow. I got some white ones. I got some white and yellow ones. And I don't know their names. I'm sorry.
Now, the only issue when it comes to viewing these delicate daffodils is if it drizzles.
We've seen a lot of storm damage here in the last couple of years. How are the flowers doing? Are they at their peak? Everyone wants to come when they're peaking. And unfortunately, the weather doesn't always cooperate. We've had years when we've been open one day. We've had years when we haven't opened at all. Normally, we'll get a couple of weeks out of it.
Did they ever expect them to do so well here in East Texas?
Well, I think it's a pretty harsh climate because sometimes we have freezes, sometimes we have 70, 80 degrees and they burn up, but they're pretty tough little flowers.
So is the daffodil your favorite flower?
Oh, sure. Love them. I got a yellow truck, don't I?
The serene setting of the gardens provides a great stop on the Texas bucket list to sit and enjoy the beauty of our great state, even if it is transplanted from another part of the world. Because in Texas, everything thrives once it finds its footing, especially the flowers.
Yeah, I think God's doing good enough by himself. All I'm supposed to do is mow and keep the grass cut so when they come up, they'll bloom again. And that's pretty easy.